Hello everyone. If you're watching this replay, my name is Noah, and today we're just going to answer any questions that any of my viewers might have about anything going on in my life and or want to share anything about theirs. I haven't done a live stream in a long time, but I'm really glad to be doing one now. Since I've done the last live stream, my life has changed quite a bit. I have progressed to a higher level, higher stage of cancer, and there are other things that have changed my life. And I guess today I just wanted to reconnect with you guys, say hi, and see if I couldn't uplift my day and maybe uplift yours in some way, shape, or form. But this sounded fun to me, and I want to do things that sound fun and uplifting to me, and this does. So welcome to my Sunday live stream, and let's get right into it. Please feel free to ask me anything on your mind or share anything that's on your mind. I'll read your comments out loud, and I'm happy to be as open as I can to whatever end it might be valuable. And I really appreciate you being open with me. Okay, Fatima says, hi Noah. Hi Fatima. Dave says, hi. Hey Dave. Kristen says, big prayers. Thank you, Kristen. Catherine, hello Noah. Hi Catherine. User M4009, prayers from Croatia. Thank you for the prayers. They mean a lot to me and my family. Thank you. Hi, Gita says hello. Hi. Silvo says, hope you're okay. I am okay, and that's something I would love to touch on today at some point as it comes up. And I'd like to make a video about it at some point too. But I absolutely am okay for today. Circumstances aside, I'm absolutely okay. Can everyone hear me all right? I'm assuming you can, but yeah, let me know. Mom Sherry says, hi Noah, I've never been on a live stream. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're on a live stream. For anyone else that's on your first live stream, sometimes for some of us it can be intimidating, and I hope you can push past that and get involved and leave a question or share a personal thought or whatever's on your mind. It feels good to participate in that way. It makes this more connective, I think. So welcome. Chris Black says, I've been praying for you. Thank you, Chris. Dave says, greetings from Germany. How certain is the stage 4 diagnosis? Could it be just a scar? No, my stage 4 cancer diagnosis has been confirmed. I had a laparoscopic exploratory surgery this past Monday, and they went in, they looked around, and they were able to see visually the spreading of the cancer in my diaphragm and my peritoneum, which is like a garbage sac that holds your internal organs on the lining of your stomach. And they saw some of my pelvis as well and some other places. So we are waiting for biopsies, but unfortunately, once it breaks into your, like the abdominal cavity and it spreads, it's considered stage 4 at that point. Blossom says, hi from the UK. Hi, Blossom. David says, Noah, you will recover and get back on track. Yeah, I'm going to do my very best. Thank you. I sure hope so. Catherine says, I'm from the UK. Lovely. Never been. Hope to go someday. Jody says, I have a very serious question, man. After 9 months of sobriety, I relapsed badly. Don't know how to start, feeling helpless. You're in good company. Congrats on your 9 months. I too am sober one day at a time, and I've been sober for a couple of years. The advice I'll give you is simply advice that would be given to me, which is being hopeless and not being sure what to do or where to go or how you ended up back here is kind of a good place to be, in that it often leads people like us to be willing and open to doing things different, seeing what may have gone wrong, asking for help, forgetting what we thought we knew about staying sober maybe, or about what we thought we knew about addiction per se. So I would leverage it into some desperation if you can, and just go get support. I find the most support in 12-step rooms, but there are a million ways and places and things to do for support. So just be kind to yourself. If you're an alcoholic like me, then we are kind of hardwired to get drunk, right? It's kind of a miracle that any of us don't, is what I've heard and what I agree with. So get some help. That's all I got for you. Coding, wannabe, rooting and praying for you, Noah. Thank you. Diane Pyatt says, hi, Noah. Always remember where there's life, there's hope. They cure cancer every day. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Jeannie says, I followed you on YouTube, friend, for some time. God bless you, brother. You seem to be more at peace now than at the beginning. Hugs and prayers. Yeah, I do seem to feel more at peace now as well. A day at a time, sometimes an hour at a time. Cindy says, it's good to see you, Noah. We get concerned when we don't hear from you, but totally understand. Yeah, I've been trying to be mindful and process what I want to share. What are my motivations to share? How can I move forward with being someone who posts his personal life on YouTube in the most thoughtful way? It all seems more important to me with my life being more vulnerable now. But I do love you guys. I'm really glad you're here. It's just a wonderful, uplifting feeling. There's currently 170 people here, and I'm sure you're from all over the country and all over the world, and you're taking a minute to be with me. And that makes me feel good, and I really appreciate it. It's pretty special. Catherine says, yes, I hear you good. Sounds great. Wonderful. Sounds fine. We can hear you. I love it. Catherine says, my first live stream as well. Beautiful. Mom says, I've taken the cancer journey with a friend of mine. She fought it for 16 years, so I've witnessed the battle. Wondering if you have any symptoms. 16 years sounds so beautiful. I take that to mean perhaps that battle ended. But, the idea for me that just the idea of being around for multiple years, many years, it just sounds so wonderful. I love that. And no, I don't currently have any symptoms that you might expect or that might seem obvious. Clear as the bell. Good. From T.W. Shatney. Matthew says, hey, I just discovered you within the last month. I'm sorry about what you're going through. Thank you, Matthew. I'm glad you're here and I appreciate it. Diane says, you are strong and God is with you. Yeah, I do sense God's love for me and God's strength in me. It does seem to help a lot. GSXR, hey Noah, are you still on testosterone since your diagnosis? Was curious if they had to stop your low T treatment. Wish you well, bro. I am still on testosterone. This is something that was recently discussed with me. So I've been on, excuse me, for those of you that may not know this, back in 2012, I was diagnosed with hypogonadism. And so they started me on testosterone replacement therapy in my mid-20s. When I was diagnosed with cancer, one of my first thoughts was, do I need to get off my testosterone replacement therapy? And per some high-level testing, it doesn't appear that my cancer specifically responds to androgens and to that sort of thing. But beyond that, even if the tumor growth does respond a little, which I would suspect every tumor would respond a little, I spoke with a very renowned oncological surgeon, MD. His name is Dr. Lowy from UCSD San Diego. And he said that he thinks it would be far more dangerous for me to stop testosterone replacement therapy right this moment. I'll be going into chemo, I believe, in 2 to 3 weeks, full dose. And it should be more immunoprotective and helpful than hurtful. That being said, I suppose I could make a video about this. I have gone to daily micro subcutaneous injections with like insulin needles. So I just take the tiniest little needle and I put the tiniest amount possible, probably average 100 to 110 milligrams total per week, split between intra-fat injections to keep my levels as low and as close as far as peaks and valleys as I can. Yeah. Oh, mercy. Okay. Cynthia says, do you think X habit of drinking could be the cause of cancer? I don't think that me being a recovering alcoholic who was absolutely a daily heavy drinker for a long time, I don't think that caused my cancer. I do think that it worsened my cancer once my cancer had spread into my large intestine and started to grow that tumor. I don't think there's any way to deny that it was a negative factor in that regard. Victoria says, hi from Sweden. Hi, Victoria. Lucy Lou says, hey, Noah, prayers being sent to you from England. Thank you, Lucy. I really appreciate it. Mom Sherry says, also, have you decided what form of therapy are you going to take this time around? I've been following your journey since you were first diagnosed. Yeah, at this time I will need chemo, and I've been made to understand how to leverage chemo in a more effective, safe way. I've been very afraid of chemo. Admittedly, I think probably too afraid from some of the things I've heard, books I've read, influences I've received, but I'll be meeting with my surgeon in 2 weeks. She'll talk to me specifically with pictures and videos and formal lab results. I think they call it second generation lab results, where they'll look for mutations in my cancer to let me know what the plan is. I'm 99% sure it will need to be chemo first. My cancer, from the little I do understand, I do know that it's on my bladder, my urethra, my rectum, and my pelvis. Surgical intervention right now, from what I was told, would need permanent change in that area. I don't think I'd have access to my penis or my rectum anymore for my remaining years. I believe they're going to want to try aggressive chemo, and then I believe they will then go in and do a form of CRS, cytoreductive surgery, maybe HIPEC, but I'm probably getting ahead of myself. That's what I think is coming. For whatever it's worth, please take this in the spirit that it's intended. Sharing with you and spending time with you is so uplifting for me here, and I hope I can add even a little bit of value to your day for however long you're here with me. If you would like to further support what's going on for me and my family, I do have a GoFundMe. It's in the description below. That's not a pressure call to action. That's just if you want to support me even more than you already are just by being here. My want is to ease my wife of worry financially to the best of my ability before things get more difficult for me physically and mentally with what's coming. And it's just a part of this that I'm trying to embrace with as much humility as I can. I'm so thankful. Again, I hope you take that in the spirit it's intended. I also have channel memberships where I'll be posting videos throughout the week, teeny little hello videos and this is what's going on videos. And then lastly, if you want to leave a comment and have it jump to the top of the line, it's mostly as a sign of thanks for that, but you can pay to have a super chat. I don't like talking about money, but here I am doing it. So again, with all due respect, but please stay, hang out. A lot of you are going through a lot of things I probably couldn't imagine, and you have plenty of places your money needs to go. So that's all I will say about that. And I hope I said that in a way that was good. All right. Let's see if I can speed up a little bit. I tend to ramble. Marina Kiel says, how was it had coffee before your surgery? The rule is that you can't eat or drink after midnight the night before, prevent pulmonary aspiration. So I was specifically told that I could drink clear fluids up to 1 hour before my appointment was to be, before checking in, excuse me. So what she's referring to, guys, is on Monday I had a laparoscopic surgery with 3 biopsies, which they got. I was supposed to stop eating before midnight, which I did, and no more clear liquids by 6 a.m., which is when I discontinued my clear liquids. I think the surgery started around 9. Chris Black says, you've helped me more than you know in my mental health battles over the years. I'm glad to know that. It uplifts me to know that. Dylan says, Noah, love you, brother. You're one of the best people out there. Thank you, Dylan. Love you too. Trying hard to be a good guy, that's for sure. John says, any thoughts on Douglas Block? Oh, so many thoughts on Douglas Block. I have an amends to make to him, and I need to pray to him, and I need to pray to God about that. When Douglas was passing away, for those of you that don't know, Douglas was my group counselor, you would say, when I was having a mental breakdown in 2011. And I attended his group, and he was wonderful. And he wrote a book called Going Through Hell, Don't Stop, and then subsequently a book called Healing from Depression, 12 Weeks to a Better Mood. Douglas, I kind of encouraged and got to watch him flourish and build a YouTube channel here, and many of you got to know him. His channel is still very, very wonderful for people struggling with mental health issues, but he passed away and I didn't know what to do or how to handle it. And I didn't even attend his live stream for his funeral. I went and saw him multiple times before he passed, but I think I was too afraid or too selfish to to soak it all in. I don't know. But I love him. I miss him. I hope he can forgive me. I hope God forgives me for not being perhaps a better support system to him when he was passing away. He's a beautiful soul. All right. Debbie says, sending massive strength and love. Thank you, Debbie. Super nerd. How does lower testosterone levels manifest on you? How does lower testosterone? Historically, low energy, trouble gaining weight, poor strength, brain fog. Currently, I have at least average testosterone levels and they feel fine, but I have a lot of videos. If you type in big no-no TRT, boy, you'll find a library of videos of me talking about my low T experience many years ago. JV3449 says, greetings from Canada. Was wondering if you feel okay overall or do you have specific symptoms? No, I feel really, really good overall. One of the strangest things about having cancer, at least the cancer I do have, is just how good I feel so far overall. One thing I've learned over time with my cancer is that, and I suppose this is good and bad, but the good about the way my cancer seems to be spreading is that it spreads in like thin sheets, not necessarily right away into big tumors. And that allows me to, so far, kind of experience my brain and my body in a very normal way. I'm in really good shape still. I have a lot of energy still. My mental health is quite good still. So I feel great for now. Of course, this is a means to an end if we can't get a hold of the spread. But I'll take it for right now, that's for sure. It makes me feel very grateful. That's a certainty. Alicia says, hi, no, I'm praying for you. Thank you for the prayers, truly. Production 18 says, praying for your complete healing. Nothing's impossible for God. Amen. Thank you. Occasionally my live stream will update where everyone is, and so I have to scroll back and find you, but I will. Greetings from Canada. Was wondering if you feel, praying for you. Always chillin' says, do you know what's next? Chemo, radiation, both? I know about the chemo. I do believe it's next, and I want to give it a shot. For sure. I'll be using repurposed meds and other things to hopefully synergize it and protect myself from the ill effects of it, but chemo is next. One of the things that my cancer did not lend itself to was any what they would call targeted therapies before. So when it was a stage 3 appendix cancer, I wasn't eligible for things like immunotherapy or radiation. I also don't know enough about them to know what I think about them or how I would be influenced to do them or not. But I do know, based on how the biopsies come back, or how they come back, I know that targeted therapies are now a possibility. I'll let you guys know as soon as I do. Reborn says, hey, all the best to you, Noah. Since you track your resting heart rate so well, has it shifted much or is it the same as years prior? It's the same as years prior, except for post-surgery it goes up a little bit. But otherwise, no, I'm healthy as a horse minus, the cancer. Silvo says, I'm a recovering alcoholic too after a 50-year battle, sober now, day at a time. Congratulations, that's all we have. I'm really happy to hear that. Anyone like us who's sober for any amount of time, we are doing ourselves, our family, and the community at large a great service, I think. San Diego says, how did you stay away from corn? It's everywhere. When I'm being thoughtful and mindful, I just make the decision to stay away from corn, I guess. I'm able to follow through because I'm leveraged with good reasons. Although, yesterday I ate pancakes because I'm still struggling to surrender my diet. But I know it's coming. I believe it'll start very soon, if not tomorrow. Mom Sherry says, also, have you been in contact with the doctor who treated you in Nevada? Loosely, but not really. Not really. He's a resource and availability. T.W. Shatney says, asking for help is the superpower. People love you and want to help. Yeah, that is a lesson I have learned. If you ask for help in an earnest way and it's coming from the best place that it can, at least for you, the person, for me, the person, people really do want to help. And it feels good to be helped. It feels good to help. And I don't know what we would have done without so much help. That is for sure. Very grateful for all of you. And I mean that. I'm not gaslighting you when I say it. I wish every person and cancer patient or depression survivor or anyone struggling could feel the love and support that I get to feel through you guys. It's it's a miracle for the mindset and for the soul. And then a lot of you guys are supporting me financially too. And that's a big deal too. It really is, because it relieves stress. All right, we got our first super chat. Let me click on it real quick. It's from Motherhood Decor. $10 super chat. Thank you so very much for that. I really appreciate it, and God bless you for that. She says, please look into Dr. Walter Longo fasting and chemo work. Also, Dr. Pat Soon Shung's NKTIVAIL superagonist to activate NK cells and T cells. Also, please look into 1CI atom with 2. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I am working with a wonderful cancer consultant that I wish to bring on the channel as soon as she feels comfortable. And she's put me on to Dr. Longo's feedback and information on diet and what I'll be doing there. Finding ways to synergize and maximize the potency and the dangers of the chemotherapy I'll be taking while protecting my healthy cells to the best of my ability, while mitigating side effects of chemo like neuropathy, which are a big thing to be concerned about. Immune resistance or immune issues is huge. And so I've got so much information I don't know how to explain, but I do believe in, per my doctors, per my cancer consultants, that I would like to try to bring to you. But it kind of has to do with the stuff you're bringing up there. So anyway, thank you guys. Please keep sharing information. And if you're someone who's watching who has cancer, ask questions. There are people that want to answer them. Thank you again for supporting the channel. Motherhood Decor, very kind of you. Oh, super chat goal. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Where were we, guys? I can't believe there's 246 people here. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Maybe I'll do these more on Sunday because this is pretty cool, and it's a way for us to connect for a little bit. I need to go faster. I'd like to go faster on these questions. I'm going to do my best. Here we go. Don't talk so much, Noah. Don't talk so much, Noah. Don't talk so much, Noah. Dylan Lines says, you saved me from one of my worst battles with depression. Always rooting for you. Thank you for letting me know. And I take that to mean you're doing a little bit better, Dylan. And that's so wonderful. So thank you for sharing, and good job. We got another super chat from Lisa Miriam 78, a $20 super chat, just saying love you. As a friend of this platform, I love you guys too. Love you too. Thank you, Lisa. Really, really kind. Really, really generous. Every time someone donates, like it makes me want to cry a little bit. As a man who's pretty in touch with his emotions, I just think it's so nice for people to do that. It also makes me want to make sure I'm in the spirit of giving as often as I can, wherever I can. What a cool thing. Thank you. Dave says, watching Paul in Perth since a few years, and he is such an inspiration and it's giving hope. So Paul in Perth is a gentleman in his early mid-50s who has shared his experience with appendiceal cancer, which is the type of cancer I have. And I believe, and Paul has reached out to me multiple times over the year offering support. I followed his journey, sometimes like clutching his story like a child with a blanket when I would fall into abject fear about my death. And knowing that guys like Paul are out there being vulnerable online reminds me just how important it is for me, and then for whatever it's worth, for any of you who feel safe to do so, whatever that word means to you, to share your story, share your testimony. You don't know, like we don't know who is out there desperate to hear something we have to say about our own experiences. And so Paul's one of those guys that's just been wonderful to me. We had a phone call, and to round trip, or to bring it full circle, Paul has currently no evidence of disease after his appendiceal cancer had spread to his peritoneum in a really profound way, in a really, really bad way. The type of spread that one would think there is no coming back from, perhaps. And in fact, there was, and he's okay right now. And he's suffered for this, of course, but it's inspiring. So I really, really appreciate guys like Paul and people bringing his attention to me. because he jumped on a phone call with me the moment I quote unquote needed him, but certainly wanted him. And that's what it's all about. I got another super chat from Gustavo Macuil 7457. It's a $10 donation. Thank you, Gustavo. He says, hang in there. I certainly am doing that, and I hope you're doing well in whatever life is throwing your way. And that extends to all of us. Thank you for the super chat. Really, really kind of you. Don't take it lightly at all. Danu Chain says, bro, you helped me overcome existential dread. I used to have debilitating anxiety, travel anxiety, life anxiety. Now I live in the Philippines. Thank you for sharing that love, and good job. And I'm glad I could help in whatever way that I was able to. Jewel N.A., I don't know, is there a way to translate that? Well, Jewel, I see you. I trust very much that you were sharing words of kindness. I don't know what you said there, but thank you for taking the time to be here and to say it. Trevor9599, do you think alcohol had something to do with your cancer? Yeah, I said this earlier. I definitely think alcohol had something to do with the progression once it became a tumor, and once it became like a pronounced part of my physiology, the cancer itself, whenever it went from like stage 1 to stage 2, I think ingesting 14, 15, 16 drinks, often on an empty stomach at the end of my drinking every single day was horrible for the progression and my body's ability to detox and heal. There are consequences to my actions and our actions, and that's something I have to make peace with, and mostly made peace with. Another super chat from Taylor Bailey 8421, a $30 super chat. No question or comment in there. I'll go looking for it. Sometimes when people do this, their comments end up getting separated, so I'll go check to see if you left me a question or comment. Thank you for for being so generous on here. I really appreciate it. And Taylor, let me go looking for you right now real quick. Taylor, your name is Bailey. Taylor Bailey. Okay, Taylor Bailey. All right, Taylor, I don't see a question or comment, and perhaps that was on purpose. If you did want to get my attention, just jump back in. Don't pay anymore, of course, but jump back in, and I'll look for it as frequently as I can remember. Okay, thank you. All right, where were we? Sorry, let's see. Wow, there's so many of you here. I've never had so many people be a part of a live stream. It's kind of overwhelming, but really, really cool. I'm falling behind, which is cool. Time is flying together. Mercy, where were we? Oh, found it. Forgive me, guys. Donna says, praying for you. Thank you, Donna. Chicken the Pleco says, strange that I fight severe anxiety every day and think, how can I go on? Then I see someone fighting a true life fight and it inspires me. That's really sweet of you to say, and I think I understand where you're coming from. I do want to, however, in your defense, let you know that as someone who has battled, like many, if not all of us to varying degrees, very extreme mood disorder, anxiety disorder, depersonalization, derealization conditions, and then of course abject clinical depression, and now, unfortunately, but as it's turned out, someone who's working through advanced cancer, don't hold me to this, guys, but I wonder if you'll understand. Most of the time, I think having cancer, and now stage 4 cancer, feels much better than being in the midst of severe anxiety and depression. The difference probably is that for most of us, and God willing, all of us who seek help, we can push through the acute and truly excruciating discomfort of an anxiety disorder episode, clinical depression. If we can get support, we can push through, and maybe longevity can be there. And then for some of us with cancer, and my death date is not written, but maybe the hard thing is coming to terms with perhaps a certain death that would be sooner than I would think. I hope I explained that in the right way, but it hurts to have anxiety disorders. It really, really hurts to have depression issues. I've had them. You can barely survive those in the way that the day is experienced. And most days, my spirits seem pretty uplifted. Most days, my mental health is quite good. And having the two perspectives, I'd rather have neither. But I'm glad that most days I'm not in acute emotional pain to accompany just the potential dread available to any of us who are in this type of situations. That's for whatever that's worth. Nolan says, have you heard of the horse drug? It can help you. Yeah, so what Nolan's referring to is something that I don't know how YouTube demonetization works, and I don't want to cause any trouble, but it rhymes with ivermectin. And yeah, I took this anti-parasitic medication for a time when I was doing insulin potentiated therapy, and I didn't really stick with it very long, certainly not as long as I was suggested to. And it's something that I will be restarting going into this next round. Repurposed meds are certainly a part of my story, and they will be a much bigger part of my story going with more traditional treatments as well. And I hope they help. It seems like they can. Looks like we got another... Well, you did. It looks like we got another super chat. Thank you so much for that. From @DZEMAS88, Zemas88, $10 or maybe €10. Just want to make you smile, and you did. Thank you for making me smile. Felt great. I appreciate it. Ross says, hey mate, I'm from Edinburgh. We have been following your story since the beginning, and I came from your dad's channel a few years back. Your family support is wonderful. Well, thank you for coming to spend some time with me here. I love my community here on YouTube. I obviously love my dad. And yeah, I have a really supportive family, and I'm really, really grateful for that. It makes a difference, and I feel very lucky. I think I'm very lucky for that. Hope you have a good day, dude. Kyle Mo says, hello, glad I could make it. Hope you are doing as good as you can. Yeah, I'm doing absolutely as good as I can. I've been very fortunate that my mindset most days is really, really good, and I'm so thankful for that, because there's a lot of room to get lost in despair in life in general, and certainly in my current circumstance. Ross says, I'm an addict too. I'd have relapsed for sure if I had this diagnosis. How have you found it? Don't be so sure. I have a dear friend at my gym who says, like, I don't know, coach. He always calls me coach. He's known me forever. He still just calls me coach. He's like, if I were in your shoes, I think I would just hide or I would give up. And I think we're more resilient than we think. This has really helped me realize that I'm a pretty resilient man. I think that's a product of my relationship with God and my family and sobriety. But I think all of us have more strength in us than we perhaps realize, although sometimes, and this has been my experience, you have to get pretty uncomfortable to access it. And for me, I also have to push through a pretty substantial amount of angst and fear and sadness, sometimes depression, before I can come out of the other end with the calm that is available to all of us to whatever degree. So I found it okay. I've only had a handful of cravings for alcohol, if that's what you wonder, but I do stay pretty on top of it. I'll be going to a 12-step meeting today, seeing men that I love and appreciate, trying to stay involved in my life while here on earth, living my life. Jewel NA90, another nice message. I'm assuming, Jewel, I just can't read it, but thank you for leaving it. I really appreciate it. I'm going to double check on Taylor, who left such a big super chat, and see if she left a question with it real quick. Taylor. I don't... Oh, Taylor. I see you, Taylor. Taylor says, I did leave you a message. You are very welcome. My thoughts are with you. You are wonderful parents, and your wife, your attitude, and your comforting persona are so wonderful for others. Thank you, Taylor. I really appreciate it. You seem really kind, so thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Where were we, guys? This is crazy. 295 people Just hanging out. How cool. How freaking cool, man. Where am I? This is wild. Sorry. Well, excuse me, rather. Just trying to figure out where I was. Man, there's so many questions. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go so fast. Mark my words. I can do this. I can freaking do this. Trinity says, hi, happy to see you. Happy to see you too. Maria says, praying for your full recovery from New Hampshire. Thank you for that so much. Catherine says, I've been following your journey for a few months now. I send you prayers. My sister had cancer when she was younger. Thank you for the prayers and prayers back. Sometimes I don't know how to pray for people, and I really love to know I'm being prayed for as someone who takes comfort in that stuff. So now I've literally just started saying, I'm praying for, and I say the name. And it's like my baseline prayer. I am praying for, and I say the name. I wonder if anyone else does that too. Diana says, we love you, Noah. We love you too, Noah. We are with you in this battle with you. Thank you for the updates. Listen and do what your doctors advise. God is with us. God is with us. Thank you. Eric says support from Quebec. Thank you, Eric. Elizabeth, all the hearts. Love from Scotland. Love back here from the rainy Pacific Northwest. Rosie says, praying Jesus touches you with healing and peace. Jesus has been touching me with more a peace that I could never understand. I've often been really afraid to say out loud on here that I'm someone who believes in Jesus and I'm a born-again Christian, because I don't want anyone to leave because of that, and I don't want anyone to think that the faith I've found precludes them from spending time with me, or that I want to be dogmatic or pressuring it. It's not like that, but I can't deny that it comforts me and it's part of my life and it's really important. I just don't think, I don't want anyone to omit their time here because of it, if that makes sense. But yeah, undeniably, if I don't know what I would do if my prayer life wasn't so consistent and if I didn't trust God as much as I try to trust God every step of the way. Trinity says, whatever that means for me, and I love hearing about what spirituality and God means to other people, or not, by the way. You're safe, you're wanted, you're welcome here. Atheist, agnostic, Buddhist, insert whatever faith or lack thereof. Glad you're here. Trinity says, does your dad have cancer? He does. My dad has prostate cancer, and I think it's stage 2. Lisa says, love and prayers from California. Thank you, Lisa. Clouds of Smoke says, hey, Noah. Hey, Clouds of Smoke. E.R. Ngads, and oh boy, I may have messed up that name, but hey, Noah, our prayers are with you. You're a fighter. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sherry Brown Star says, praying God is still in control. Amen. Claire Bond says, sending love, healing, and prayers for healing for you. Thank you. Kirsten, excuse me. Hi, Noah. How are you feeling for today? Today I feel awesome. How are you feeling for today, sister? I haven't quite been around, but I have been thinking of you and your family. I know you have a lot going on. I know your road is tough. I'm glad you're here now, and I hope you're doing as well as you can be doing with whatever you're facing. Joseph says, bro, look up ivermectin and fenbendazole. On it, for sure on it. Mom Sherry says, Lisa, I'm also in California. Awesome. Always chilling that part. How's your spouse doing as well? By the way, my name is Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. Jessie is going through a lot. Jessie is my wife. She is rarely on camera. It's just not her personality. She likes her privacy, but she's completely supportive of me, probably to a fault over the years. And this has been really, really hard for her. And the progression of it's been really scary for her. And something I've been trying to do is be more understanding for her than ever before. And I like to think that I've been growing as a husband and as a partner over the years to be more understanding and compassionate and caring for her. But as it pertains to this cancer journey, something about moving on to stage 4 and sensing her fear and her dread and her sadness, and trying to leverage the relative peace and calm I seem to have most of the time about my situation. I just want to comfort her, and I want to love on her, and I want to be understanding for her as far as how difficult this must be and how unfair this must seem and how scary and overwhelming this really is. I don't envy her position, and I don't envy any of our positions who have someone we love who's not well. whom we can't save from that other than to support them and love them, But she's okay, but she's absolutely not okay, if you understand. But she's very strong. She's very loving. She's a resilient human being. She has a wonderful spirit. She's a calm disposition, or she has one. And I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky, and I just want her to know how lucky I think I am as often as possible. I know a lot of us don't have a support system like I have, be it in the home or otherwise. So God bless my wife, and pray for her if you're the praying type, or maybe think of her if you're the type that suits more. She's okay, but she's absolutely not okay. Granted, time takes time and we'll adjust. I just got a really generous super chat from at PEY777, a $50 super chat, all of which is going to go to help support me and Jess in this time. Thank you. Prayer hands right back to you. So generous. You guys make this YouTuber feel less afraid of the unknown coming up in a lot of ways. So thank you. Really, really kind. Got another super chat from Reborn831, $5 or maybe €5. Thank you for that as well. Just a quick tip, I highly recommend using deep research on Google, Gemini, or ChatGPT for any research questions you might have in your treatments. Yeah, so thank you for that. I understand online in the discourse, there's just so much concern about AI, but from my experience since being diagnosed with cancer, I do pay for the pro version of ChatGPT, and I only use it to help me understand some of the nuance that I just don't understand about protocols and treatments and options available and best practices. I cross-reference and cross-check them, of course, with my medical team, but in the still of the night or in these uncertain moments where I'm like, man, what does this mean? Or why am I taking this treatment? How do I protect my hands and my feet and my throat when I do chemo? What is neuropathy? How do you synergize chemo to protect, just questions that a lot of us cancer patients really don't have access to answers that are palatable. ChatGPT is like, hey, little guy, here's kind of how this works. And it's really comforting. Anyway, thank you for that. Okay. Stefan says, hello from Germany. Hello. At Ray says, do you have a timeline of how long you would live if you didn't do anything? Much love. No, I don't have a timeline for that. I try to be really careful with that stuff because it's so individual. Sometimes I gas myself up. I'm like, you're going to make it a long time. You're young, you're healthy. You're not your typical patient. And then other times I'm like, I don't know. What if I die really soon? I can get lost in fear. So I don't actually know, but I did meet a really brave and really cool person who's part of the support network that I just got linked up to, and I'll share with you guys. And this gal had a major surgery in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Her name is Jamie, and she has so much life, and she's so brave, and she's so clear in her situation. She has the same cancer as me. The support network put me onto her. Well, she found me and brought me in. She's living with the disease. It's inoperable and untreatable at this time, based on some of the stuff she was saying. And that's 6 years ago. So I don't know. What's weird is I've learned so much about this cancer, and I don't think I know anything. It seems like I don't know anything. Often what I do learn, I end up relearning, or it gets debunked or changes. I don't know. But if I could make it 5 years without any treatment, I wouldn't be entirely surprised. But I'm going to fight really hard to see if we can push that as long as possible. Matthew says, may I ask if there's anything in your childhood that may have played a role in your developing depression and alcoholism? Oh boy. Yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of things in my childhood. I mean, one, I have parents who struggle with substance abuse, so it's in the family, right? From an environmental standpoint, I had inconsistent parenting for a time when my parents were struggling with their addiction, which leads to an unhealthy attachment style. I'll leave it here because this is over my pay grade, but from what I've learned about myself and how attachment styles work, kids like me when I was a kid, we can't fight or flight from our parents. When we're little, we have no choice but to attach to them. Maybe you guys have heard about this too. And so when you attach to someone who's inconsistent, like my parents were for a time, I mean, they were super consistent in other ways, but as it pertains to the question, let's say when mom, who's now been sober for a long time, in recovery for a long time, doing great. I love her, so this isn't to disparage her, but when she was really going through some really difficult things, she would struggle with her mood and her anger and then her pain because she had all these surgeries and opiates were a part of her story. She shared that publicly, so this isn't new information as far as who has had the chance to know. But as a kid, I had to modulate based on her behavior, right? So is mommy okay? We can't make mommy mad. And I had to change the way I behave so that she would be okay, or at least that's how my brain took it from what I understand. All of this means that alcohol and feeling better and thinking it could help quell some of the stress and angst of being young and being nervous, plus the genetic predisposition perhaps, it played a nice little hand in me being pretty susceptible to addiction. It's too convoluted of a topic. I don't even know if what I said is actually true or to what degree, but I suspect there's some truth in there. Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. You're an angel. You did wonderful with me with what you were going through, and I know that you know that we are all trying our best, and I just want the world to know how much I love my mom. Yeah. Okay. Great question, though. Justin says, hi, sir, you're so brave. Thank you. I'm surrounded by brave people. It makes it easier to aspire for that, that's for sure. Kirsten West says, praying for you. We live in Portland, and Dr. Thomas was our pediatrician for both our sons, Luke and Noah. Oh, we saw you often working in his office when we brought in the kids. You got this. That's so cool to know. It's a small world. Hope you're well, and thank you for being here. Finnan says, prayers from Dublin, Ireland. Let's go. One of my best friends is from Ireland, and he always says that I say, well, by better than some Irish people, according to him. Joseph says, bro, ivermectin works great, and fenbendazole with chemo. Yeah, I've heard and been continuing to hear that it can be very, very helpful at keeping me safe and making chemo more effective. So I will be using those protocols. Janelle Walker says, please consider radiation as well. Yeah, it'll be considered if my cancer is eligible for it, and they'll let me know. The Mitt Soda says, did you ever want children? Lord, yeah, I believe I did. And if I let it, it can kind of make me sad. But I don't think I've talked about this. I think that's probably the power of a live stream. Brings up things that I wouldn't think of on my own to share. But my wife and I were actually trying prior to my diagnosis. I had officially been starting some medications that would help me become fertile. And I think we were gonna really try. And life had other plans for us, and I don't suspect it'll be happening anymore. Amanda Lynn, thanks for bringing up that trauma. No, I'm just kidding. Amanda Lynn says, I put you and your family on our church prayer list today. Thank you for doing that. Seriously, I can't thank you enough. Thank you. Justin says, handsome sir, nice bush. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Jewel, another nice comment that I just can't read. Catherine says, Ray has a good question. Awesome. I'll look forward to seeing it, or maybe I just saw it and I missed it or already addressed it. Nikita says, prayers for you. Thank you. Chicken the Pleco says, hey from Chicago. Godspeed. You got this. Prayers and best wishes with your fight. Thank you very much. The Strongest Ever says, there's a guy who got chemo for rectal cancer. He got rid of it, but ended up with neuropathy in his hands and feet. He can barely stand for too long or walk without pain in his feet. Yeah, the neuropathy angle of chemo agents like oxaliplatin, Fulfox, Fulfury, I think that's what I'll be getting, or one of the agents I'll be getting, is a real concern. I do think that there's a lot of good information that I will make sure is curated for my specific situation to help me minimize that. I'm not overly worried about that, but then again, Paul in Perth, the gentleman who has the same cancer, who had progressed a little further, maybe a lot further than mine currently is, he did end up with chronic neuropathy, and he does talk about it being quite painful. And I want to take that serious. So I'll do my education, or I'll try to educate myself rather on how to minimize that, mitigate it, or whatever. Because that's a tough one for sure. Janelle says, and fertility preservation. Yeah, I'm not currently fertile, I don't believe, because I've been on TRT for so long. The wife and I have had some pretty intense conversations, though, about should we try to quickly get me fertile? Should I try to freeze a sperm? But then I have these thoughts like, do you really want to have a baby if I'm not going to be here? Assuming that's where this all leads relatively soon. I don't know. Crazy stuff to think about, eh? Justin Russ says, I hope you have more years. I hope so too, really. Thank you. Paul says, continued prayers from Maine. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. San Diego says, much respect, brother. And back to you. Nikita says, I'm scheduled for CRS HIPEC on December 9th. I found you and you have been so helpful. Oh, Nikita, I'm praying for you and thinking about you and wishing you a really successful CRS HIPEC. So for those of you that don't know, for people's cancers like ours, like mine and Nikita's, who have gone into the peritoneum, the CRS is cytoreductive surgery. So they will go in there and they will with the goal, to eliminate and cut out and scrape out and take out whatever can be visibly seen, with the goal being that their naked eye, the surgeons, once they open you up, cannot see anymore visibly. And then they will pour liquid chemotherapy. I think it's a couple different agents, but I don't suppose the specifics matter for us here. They'll heat it up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, I think, and then they'll pour it in your body. This is something that in a lot of ways I was really hoping I'd be eligible for, just based on what I've heard as far as it being very good at potentially creating no evidence of disease, potentially giving you a clean slate. But there are risks and worries to consider, and I don't think I'm eligible anymore right now because of where mine is spread. But for Nikita, if you're there, that means they think they can help you, and I think you're strong enough to get through the surgery. That's what Paul went through. So anyway, you're going through a lot right now, and I'm sending my thoughts to you, and I hope you're brave, and I hope you believe you can be okay, and I'm going to believe you can be okay, and I'm going to believe that I can be okay too, and maybe it's going to be great. So just hang tight, and I'll be thinking about you. It's a lot. Okay. Motherhood Decor says, fasting and chemotherapy. Look up Dr. Walter Longo research, also Dr. Pat Soon. Yes, I will be looking up all of that. I'll be making sure my fasting protocols for chemo are on point to protect me and to deal with side effects. And I'll share everything I learn, I hope, and certainly share how it's going. Barbara says, praying for you. God bless you. God bless you, Barbara. Thank you. Aiden says, my husband just got diagnosed with prostate cancer also. I'll send prayers for you, Noah. God bless. Yeah, God bless you and your husband. So much great information out there. I hope you guys find a route or a plan that suits you and that's effective for you. There's a lot of hope out there. Kieran's Lobster says, it's been super interesting following your story, mate. Info like yours is hard to find, Andre. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for following and for being here. Sometimes I think I should be sharing more, but then I'm like, maybe you're sharing exactly what you're supposed to be sharing. So I usually settle on that. Dean Smith with prayers. Thank you. Jermek 5114. Haven't checked in for a bit. Just want to send some love and support your way. Brother, much love for my daughter, Blakely, and I. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have a lot of people here. I'm going to say something I said in the beginning, and I'll try to do it thoughtfully and quickly. In the description of this video, I have a GoFundMe to support my cancer journey. Anything not covered by my state insurance, not lifestyle bills and food and lost wages from my business closing. None of this to be guilt tripping, more to be transparent. I want to raise as much money as I can to help my wife and I not experience undue stress in this new year as we go into surgeries and chemos and stuff. So I have that there, not as a pressure release valve, but just as a means to support me even more than you already are by being here if you want. I also have memberships where I'll be trying to post more behind the scenes little content, just little things for people that want to support me extra. And lastly, if you want to pay for a super chat here, it's mainly to support me, but of course it'll bring your comment to the top. I'll see it right away. I'll shout you out and offer extra thanks. And again, I hope that spiel was received in the spirit it was intended. That is not a pressure tactic. I'm okay. I'm very blessed. I'm just trying to do my part for the platform I have, if that makes sense. I know you all have a lot going on and you have your own expenses, so that'll be the last time I talk about money for the next hour. I don't know if I'll still be here. But thank you for listening either way, and please don't personalize that if that triggers you a little bit. Okay, can you tell I don't like talking about money? That being said, thank you. We just got a super chat from, I think it's Canadian dollars, $27.99. Thank you so much. So sending you good vibes, brother. I have so much respect for how you have approached treatment. I see you sharing as a great service. Give your dad a hug for me. I certainly will. From Oracle 2866. Thank you for supporting me, for being here, and I'll be sure to send that love over to my dad. That is for sure. Okay. Germa Cam says, haven't checked in for a bit. Just want to send some love and support your way, brother. Much love from my daughter Blakely, and I thank you. Joseph says, bro, ivermectin and fenbendazole. Look it up on it. Thank you. Am I rereading it? Okay. Robert Browning says, surgery promotes metastasis and growth. It looks like the first surgery didn't have clean margins. Correct. And caused the further spread. Ask for the curative rates for any further surgery. I certainly will. I don't want to take surgery lightly. I don't want to take any of this lightly. So I'm doing my best to make the smartest decisions I can with the information I have. And I appreciate you putting that out there. It's all stuff that needs to be considered. I did learn that the more surgeries people in my situation have, the less surgeries they can tolerate in the future. So it's a big deal, and it should be taken very serious for sure. No fun. $10 super chat from Stefan Hodgkinson 4088. Best wishes, Noah, from Woodburn, Oregon. Thank you very much for the super chat and for supporting me here like that. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. We got another super chat from Pretty Feet 22. It says, praying for you. May I ask what were your symptoms that led to your diagnosis? Thank you, Pretty Feet, for the $20 super chat. It's very kind and generous. And yeah, of course, you can ask anything. That's what we're here for. I was dealing with, so back in 2019, I'll see if I can make this relatively concise, but back in 2019, I was dealing with these sharp, ow, mother. Oh, I just kicked the top of my foot on my desk. The least of my problems. But July 5th of 2019, I woke up and had a sharp, burning, stinging, almost like rash-like feeling right here at the top of my diaphragm. And to make this answer short, over the course of the next 4 years prior to ending up in the ER with a mostly obstructed, or at least a partially obstructed small bowel, it was making it that I couldn't eat, or so that I couldn't eat. These bouts of sudden, aggressive and sharp stabbing pains would become more and more and more frequent and more extreme and more aggressive. Over those few years, I chalked it up to my alcoholism. I thought I was having acid reflux. I wondered if I had pancreatitis. I went in and saw my doctor, and we tried things like omeprazole. I eventually got an endoscopy where they put a camera down my throat. They weren't able to see anything, and nobody suggested that I perhaps get a colonoscopy. And if they had, or if I'd known to check, they would have seen a tumor starting to grow in my large intestine. Sometimes when I obsess about this, I get fairly sad because, as it turns out, had that tumor been identified when I was being so symptomatic for those years and taken care of then with negative margins, which I did not end up with, which just means that if they could have found that tumor that came from my appendix sooner, before it became stage 3C, and certainly, let's say if it were like early stage 1 or 2, they could have cut it out. And I do believe my likelihood of a complete and total cure or remission would have been 100% or damn close from what I've read. I can't live there or stay there because I can't change it. But what it does mean is that if anyone else is having those types of symptoms, burning pains here, sharp stabbing pains after they're eating, it's absolutely worthwhile to go to whatever length you can to get an actual specific answer, which I did not get. And because I was lost in active drinking, I just kept assuming it had to do with that. And so I told myself, if I just don't drink, it'll get better. And sometimes I convinced myself it was. And ultimately, I could barely eat for 3 weeks and then wound up in the ER with the need for damn near emergency surgery. And now we're here. And that's my story. and it is what it is, and that's okay, because I can't change it. All right, great question, and hopefully it helps someone else avoid the situation that I find myself in, because it's not my favorite. All right. By the way, I've never had this many people hop in on a live stream. You're making this YouTuber feel pretty great, pretty loved. It's pretty cool. You guys are awesome. Diana Liv says, sending you my healing angel, beautiful. You will be all right. Yeah, thank you, Diana. Courtney says hi. Hi, Courtney. I'm a waiver, apparently. You guys know Forrest Gump when Lieutenant Dan comes into the shot? I think he's sitting on the pier, or the dock, rather, and Forrest's boat starts going by, and Forrest like throws his elbow around and is waving. I feel like that's me. I think I'm like Forrest Gump when I wave to you guys. I don't know why. I just feel like I want to like put on the shit-eating grin and like wave. I think it's sincere though, which makes it pretty funny. Anyway, German. Wait a minute. Sorry, I got lost. Oh. Rebedo says, I have been rooting for you for a long time, bro. I feel it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Felix Cat 9455. Hello, Noah. I have been watching you for a long time. You're such a soothing presence. Thank you. I'm very sorry you have to go through this. You're in my prayers. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Rachin Gargo says, greetings from Wales. Cool. Sorry, only just joined. Hope your spirits are post. How are your wife and family? You know, I think, and I've said this before, I think my wife and family are having a harder time than I am right now most of the time. I don't know that for sure. But I know that there's I think something all of us humans experience, and I certainly have, is the despair that comes with knowing you can't control something, and you can't save someone, you can't stop something from happening that you don't want to have happen. And my family does not want this to happen, and of course I don't either. But I wonder sometimes if I'm accepting that it is happening, maybe a little faster than some of them, but maybe not. I could just be in my own head. But I know they're hurting for sure, and I know I'm very well loved. And one of the beauties of being well loved, but one of the curses of being well loved, is that if you love someone, you hurt for them more when they hurt. And I really can't imagine what it's like to be my mom, with her firstborn son having this looming, and she can't save me. It must be really hard. It kind of makes me sad to think about. So they're doing the best they can, and there's still hope, but a tough situation, of course. Truth Speller 3279 with a heart, thank you. Clouds of Smoke, speedy recovery, Noah, thank you. Mary Pennington, prayers for complete recovery, thank you. J. Lexus says, how did you even know you had cancer at first? What were the symptoms? As I'd said a moment ago, these sharp burning pains right here that unfortunately I ignored as far as taking it to its full conclusion. Why is this happening? I waited too long. Which I hear a lot from other cancer patients and other stories. Even up to the moment I ended up in the ER, I made a video about it. The video before the I have cancer video was me trying to figure out what was wrong with my stomach and thinking I need to do more fasting and let my bowels heal, anything but recognize that something serious was going on. And the morning I ended up in the ER, I drove myself to my primary care doctor's office after not being able to sleep essentially for a couple, 2-3 weeks without excruciating, life-changing pain. When I drove myself, my wife was asleep in bed, and I could have said, take me to the hospital. Something's wrong, and I didn't. I don't know what you would call it. Denial, hubris, ego. I, clenching my stomach, holding onto the steering wheel, drove myself cross town, wincing and agonizing and clenching, did I already say that? To the office saying, I think I'm having an emergency, just to be picked up and taken back to the ER. It's just crazy stuff to think about. Absolutely crazy to think about. Rebecca says, many thoughts and love, Noah from Dublin. Thank you. Thank you very much. Jacob says, sending love from Croatia, bro. Love you. Got this. Love you too, man. Thank you. P-Code. Hello, Noah. Hi, P-Code. Wait, Forrest Gump wave. Joseph Griff says, vitamin C daily, vitamin D daily, zinc, ivermectin, 60 milligrams, morning, lunch, and dinner, fenbendazole, Monday through Friday, 1 pill in the morning and 1 pill at night, total of 888. Thank you for sharing the info. Samantha, your positive energy radiates and it's inspiring. Thank you for sharing. God bless you and your family. Well, thank you for saying that. God bless you and your family too. Whatever I am putting out, I just give it to my family and my God. I sometimes wonder if my authentic self was always designed to walk through this with a little bit of dignity. I just didn't have access to that part of me when I was drinking, so I do feel really grateful that I'm going through this sober. And if I put out good energy, that makes me feel good. That's what I want. Yeah, I want that more now than like ever before, because I know some people are worried about me, and I just don't want them to be like needlessly afraid, you know. Torch Woodgal, thank you for your transparency about your cancer and mental health. Listening to how you are processing is a strength. You are giving all. May God bless you. Thank you. Really nice of you to say. Tony Ross says, prayers for you and your wife and the whole family. Thank you. We want them. We love them. We need them. It means a lot. Joseph says, ivermectin Monday. Got it. Hi. Kristen says, hi from Carson City. Sending lots of love and good vibes. Thank you, Kristen, or Christine, perhaps. It looks like Joseph just wanted to really make sure I got that info, and so he repeated himself, which is totally fine. I totally get it. Thank you for wanting to make sure I know. Julie says, does all the unsolicited advice sometimes annoy or hurt you? I have a friend with cancer, and people give her crazy suggestions all the time. No, not personally. Not personally. I honestly think they're... You know, in-person advice maybe is one thing, and I know how to set boundaries with people if they are offering unsolicited advice in a way that's a little aggressive or overwhelming, but it usually isn't the case, and quite frankly, the complexity of everyone's individual cancer mixed with their individual genetics and their environment and their situation and their nutritional proclivities and their diagnosis, there are so many variants and so many things that if I take it in the right spirit with the right mindset, the more the better, as long as it's not overwhelming or demonstrative. Online, I can just appreciate the fact that people care enough to try to offer help. That's normally where my brain goes. But yeah, I suppose I do understand both angles. Yeah, but I don't take it bad. I mostly take it really good. Because sometimes I learn something I never would have known. I happen to be working with some really smart people that if I hear something new from you guys, I run it by them. So what do you think about this? Is there any evidence to it? Do I need to consider it for my protocol or whatever? Josh says, does TRT cause cancer or aggravate your cancers? I want to do TRT as well. I don't believe that TRT causes cancer. I think for some types of cancers, let's say colorectal or prostate, I think TRT can promote and increase growth of said cancer. And I wonder if there's a little bit of that going on for me, but at this point I'm in too deep and the risks of coming off would be too detrimental or too substantial. I mentioned this earlier, but I take micro doses now of TRT, the smallest amounts I possibly can, in through my fat every single day. And I'll learn more as I can and share more. Taylor Bailey says, hi, Noah. Just want to share my prayers for you. Your parents are awesome. You are so lucky to have them by your side. I sure am. Thank you, Taylor. P-Code says, I really enjoy your videos. Your voice is very calming and you are 100% real. Don't pretend to be someone else like most of people do. I still can struggle with that, but thank you. It's, I don't know, something about facing your mortality for me has made it a little bit easier to be myself in the ways that I suppose I probably should have been trying to be or wished I could have been more often. A tricky thing navigating life and in relationships and situations, but I try not to have too many masks on anymore too often. I can help it. So thank you. Mom Cherry says, by the way, love your parents. They are such a wonderful support to you. I'm sure your wife is well, and I hope that she is doing well. I'm sure she's quite concerned and dealing with a lot of emotions. Yeah, my wife's dealing with a lot of emotions. Unprecedented experience for many people our age in our 30s, but certainly not an entirely unique one at all. Thank you for the nice words. Alex says, hi Noah, looking great like always. Will you ever do a meet and greet? I don't know, probably not right now. I find myself thinking I don't have the audience to justify a meet and greet, but maybe I'm wrong. That's why I think these these live Q&As are so cool. Granted, I did not realize so many of you would be here, so this is pretty rad. Always Chillin' says, yes, people don't realize how this can affect you financially. We're going through this as well, but it's stage 4 pancreatic cancer. My husband was diagnosed this past July. He's had 7 infusions. Oh, I'm so very sorry to hear that. I'm just so very sorry to hear that. For whatever it's worth, and take this as I hope I take it in the way it's intended, but Dr. William Mackis is a Canadian radiologist who now just dedicates all of his life and his work to repurposed medication testimony stories on his Substack. And then he does consults. He did one for me. And he pairs pretty aggressive repurposed medication protocol suggestions with traditional interventions like chemotherapy, let's say. And there have been some stories for people with pancreatic, which I know can be a tough one, finding success. I don't mean to offer advice that you didn't ask for, but just know that you're in my thoughts just in case that hadn't crossed your radar. Pretty low bar of entry for those repurposed meds as far as like symptoms, side effects, risks when you're dealing with something so serious. I hope you're doing as okay as you could possibly be doing. What a horrible situation to be in. I hope you're finding as much strength and courage as you can. Just know that you have my love and support. You're not alone. And yeah. Oh, my mom's on this chat. Hi, Mama. Yeah, I suppose Joseph had done his part already. So listen to this, guys. Oh, that's in my thought for you and your husband. Forgive me. Send him my love too. If he ever wants to chat, I'd be happy to talk with him. Not to advise him, but just to talk with him. So email me at thomasvisionsllc@gmail.com and remind me who you are from this chat. If your husband would like to talk with me, I'd make time for him. On a lighter note, not that we're not here to discuss every note, but on a lighter note, my mom is in the chat. And while I do think I have probably one of the most kind-hearted, supportive, lovely group of people here on YouTube, like as far as a YouTuber like me, building a community by the grace of God with you guys, I gave my mom permission and privileges, you would say, to delete or pause or kick off people in the comment section that are being disruptive or rude or mean-spirited outside of concern, let's say. Outside of like, they could disagree, but as long as they're being respectful, it's all good. We're all here just to share our thoughts. No one asked for that info, but she obviously just muted a gentleman named Joseph who was sharing good info, but my guy was spamming. Anyway, back to you guys. Let's see. Okay. Also, Mom, if you're watching this, do not super chat. Don't donate. My mom has spent so much money trying to support my wife and I this last year. She's like our lifeline, which is why we're trying to get extra help from our community, because she cannot do that forever. She would cut off her arm for me. Everyone hit the thumbs up. It helps from Love Life at Home. Yeah, likes and shares. That's like currency for YouTubers like me. That helps us reach more people, which helps us. It just helps us, It does. It just does. Josh says, does TRT cause cancer or aggravate your cancers? I'm suffering from hypogonadism and want to do TRT. I think I addressed this, and I see that you're asking it a lot here, Josh. And I hope you get a good you got good feedback from me. I'm going to go ahead and put that user in timeout for 10 minutes, which just will give you a second, Josh, to pause on spamming that question, please. Jordy Woody says, what's your favorite movie? You know, when I was a kid, I would have answered that really quickly. I would have thought it was Jerry Maguire. I always loved that movie. I wonder, though, if my favorite movie now is probably, in a concrete way, Braveheart with Mel Gibson. One of my favorite, lesser-known, current favorite movies, if I want to just cry my eyes out, which I don't necessarily need more fodder for that. But there's a movie called Lion, which I don't know that I could watch again because it's just so heartbreaking and beautiful, but it's a movie called Lion, which is really good. I thought Whiplash with Miles Teller was just phenomenal. I loved Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. I could go on and on. Fun question. Pink Roses says, I was thinking that too. Will you pay it forward with donations in some form or way? People have been so kind and generous. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Finding a way to give it all back, to make sure that I'm being respectful and honoring people's time and donations while my wife worked through this situation is constantly on my mind. It has to be paid forward. I have to make sure I make peace with my God about all of that stuff. Yeah, of course. Dean Boonstra says, praying for your complete healing. Thank you. Megan says, just tuning in. Hello, Noah. Love your channel. Thank you for sharing your story. Yeah, thank you, Megan, for being here and for being kind. Jewel says, I hope you recover soon, God willing. Kimber, it looks like my mom got a hold of that Josh guy in time. Sorry, everyone. Didn't mean for that to sort of overtake the chat. I hope you recover soon from Jewel. Thank you. Need a mod block. Got it. Iron Chef. I think Josh and Joseph are a bit spamming the same message in the chat. Yeah, sorry, team. Matthew 96. No, if you don't mind me asking, do you remember getting your hair washed as a kid? Not by other people, if that's what you mean. Kelly says, hey brother, hope you were hanging in there. Yeah, absolutely am. Absolutely am. Megan Walsh says, any advice on supporting a loved one through their cancer journey? My best friend was just diagnosed with stage 4. It's a very helpless feeling. Yeah, let me think about that for just a second. I'm sorry for your friend, and I'm sad and sorry for you too. How very unfortunate. I think one of the things you can do is educate yourself a bit on their situation. If that offers you any perspective or hope, or at least clarity, maybe address your own fears so that you don't potentially project them onto your friend. I think that a lot of families going through cancer don't necessarily need too many extra people saying, what can I do? Not that that's not an important question, but more have people do what they know needs to be done. So if there are meals that need to be made, make them. If there are chores or things going on in that person's life that you could relieve their burden realistically, yard work, laundry, cooking, cleaning, just do those things. Say, I'm going to help with these things. Talk to your friend's husband or a partner or whomever's close and say, hey, I'm going to start doing these things, and just look to get them done. I think we all as people go through decision fatigue. I know I do. And my wife opened up to me very sincerely recently in a way that she doesn't always, and said, with a handful of tears in her eyes, I'm struggling to take care of myself. I don't even know what to do with myself, because her sister, my dear sister-in-law, was trying to come over and say, what can we do? And she was cooking for us. And, there's a lot of scrambled thoughts and emotions. So to end that question, I'll just say, whatever you think needs to be done or could be done, do it. Just do it. And then love them and listen to them, and maybe don't try to fix them, but hear them, sit with them in their fears if they're expressing it. And well, here's a really high level one. I don't know if everyone will agree with me on this one, but give them space to share, but try not to take on their emotions. So like that difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathetic people sometimes will mirror emotions. So like someone's being maybe overly sympathetic, and the person who's acutely suffering says, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm angry, and they start crying. A really sympathetic person, even a sincerely loving one, might start crying too, which isn't necessarily good for the person suffering. But an empathetic person can be there and can absorb that emotion, can not attempt to fix, not try to match, and not try to emote back, but just to be there calm and loving, a rub on the back, a hug, a tender look, and then composure. Those things are really good. Need to take a breath. I need to recenter myself. Yeah, to be honest with you guys, that question about like, what are you going to do to give it back for people being so generous with me? I think I have a lot of insecure thoughts about not being worthy of support, even though I do believe I am. But my brain gets hormone dumps when I think about people not having the same type of support I have, and then wondering, do I even deserve it? How can I make sure I'm worthy of it? What do I need to do to prove to myself I am? These are some like intrusive thoughts I work through, but it's good. It's something I'm sure a lot of us deal with, and I'm going to pray about that. I am going to make sure that I give it all back. Didn't think I'd say that out loud, but it is my truth. Okay. GDOLI84 says, hey coach, how are you, man? How's your spirit? My spirit is good. Thank you. My spirit is quite good. Janet Brown 6608 says, you seem like such a great guy, and you're so lucky to have such supportive and involved parents and everything you're going through and have gone through. Hang in there. All you can do is your best. Amen to that. Thank you, Jana. I hope you're well. Phoenix says, Ayo, hey yo. Catherine says, just block the spammers, which is what I did. Yes, got it. Thank you. Kirsten says, what is on your mug? Looks very handmade. Yeah, this is a Portland mug. So I live really close to Portland, Oregon. And this is a Portland mug. Kyle says, how have you and your family found things to help with depression after your diagnosis? You know, it's hard to think that there isn't anything more important than just making sure that one person, at least one person in our lives, sincerely know what we're thinking and how we're feeling, that can help us reality test our thoughts and feelings. So I just think getting support and not isolating is and telling the truth is probably the most important thing for me, and I trust for my family too. And yeah, probably that's a good answer. D to Sarah says, Noah, I just saw your live. Wishing you good health, happiness, and blessings always. Thank you, D. I appreciate it. Please read about ivermectin, fenbendazole. Yes, absolutely. From To Our Turu Universe. Nikita says, I had my appendix removed. It did burst. Then told I have goblet cell carcinoma. I've done a CT and PET scan. There is shadowing on liver, but still not given a stage. Surgery scheduled. Is this normal? Yeah, I think so, but I'm really careful, or I want to be really careful to suggest I know at all what's going through your situation, and mostly know emotionally what it can be like to be in the in-between, to not know what's coming next or what the results will be or what to expect. So for me, I just try and breathe. I try and not over-research if I can't help it. I try and stay grounded with my friends and my family, and then I lean deeply into my faith, focus on being here and being now. You'll learn more, and I hope you come back and share with us. And there's a website called PMP Pals. I'll put it, let me see if I can track it down. I'll put it in the description. If you have what we have, then you should check out the support system. There's a lot of people who can answer a lot of questions for you. Let me double check where that is right now, and then I'll put that in the comment section. It's a support network for people with appendix cancer. Let's see. pmpals.net. Check this out if you have appendix cancer or you know someone who does. pmpals.net. Did it work? Yeah, check that out if you're still with us, Nikita. Where was I? I'm so far behind. Am I really this far behind? Mercy. Man, some of you are still here and I'm just babbling in the background, I'm here for it. I'll try to get to your question. Thank you for sending it. I didn't expect so many of you to be here, but I'm glad you are. Where was I? Well, forgive me. I think and fear some of you, your comments might be just like gone. Like I cannot get back to them on this screen. Maybe I can get back to them. I'm worried that some of you, left a question and there's no way now for me to see that question. Give me 1 second if you would. All right, let's see. Uh-oh. Shoot, guys. I can't go back. I apologize. Some of you just got skipped there. Know that I love you and appreciate you. I can't seem to go back. Bummer. Okay. Well, we'll do the best with what we got, okay? DZ Moss says, your dad is a star. Yeah, he's a stud. Old Boy 5001, have you ever watched The Universal Antidote? I have not. Don 832, Dr. John Campbell studies with people all around the world. He's also taking ivermectin and fomepizole. Yeah, those two are in my protocol. Megan says, in what ways do you feel most supported by your friends and family in this journey? My best friend was recently diagnosed and I feel very helpless and powerless when it comes to how to best support. Yeah, I'm hoping, Megan, you heard my last response, but it's just to cover the basic needs and the day-to-day stuff that most people might think are too trivial, that probably need a lot of attention. Just think, what do all of us need to do on a day-to-day basis to take care of our adulting lives? See where you can jump in there. Financial support helps too, a lot. That's just a factor. And then unconditional love. John says, Noah, I've been following you for years. I'm encouraged by your strength to go through all this cancer. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Love and life at home. Drawn B says, favorite Beatles song. Penny Lane is in my and in my heart. I think that one. At least that's the first one that popped into my head. iSync1080 says, hi, I have followed your story from the beginning. I'm a cancer survivor now 3 years. I was diagnosed back in 2023 with bladder cancer. It's been a journey full of ups and downs. You got this. Kudos to you. That's badass. Thank you for chiming in. Sharing stories like that mean a lot. Thank you. Jazz says, hi, have you ever thought about going vegan? Love your attitude. Yeah, so I haven't talked about my diet in a while, but my diet is mostly like, again, not necessarily vegan, but olive oil, walnuts, a little bit of fish. I've been binge eating the last week, that's for sure, on other stuff. But we'll do a video soon, but I'm I'm essentially very little meat, as clean a food as I can, olive oils, nuts, and pasture-raised eggs. Lots of cruciferous veggies, things like that. Megan says, I pray for you every night. Thank you, Megan. Amanda says, you are brave and strong. You will get through this. As someone who has a family member with cancer, this has been the place to help cope. Yeah, absolutely. Praying for your family member and you. Jana says, you can do this, Noah. Thank you, Jana. D. Zima says, can you give a good tip for quitting alcohol? What is most important? The best tip I can give for quitting alcohol is just to find support and stop at nothing until you find the support that you need, whatever that means for you. So a big thing that helped me get and stay sober is just not relying on my best thinking to get and stay sober. I hope that helps. Shiradine de Monk says, hi, Noah. Continue prayers of healing strong. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's all going to be okay, says, it's a beautiful rainy day here in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, it sure is. I kind of love it. Sun Queen says, are you going to try for HIPEC procedure like Paul in Perth? I absolutely was going to try for the HIPEC procedure if I was eligible. I think I based on the laparoscopic surgery they did, everything right here looks ready to go. I think the surgeon said they could clear out my diaphragm, my peritoneum, but what they can't do right now is surgically deal with my pelvis, my bladder, my urethra, and my rectum, which I believe are impacted in such a way that it would be life-altering physical changes. I don't know that I'd have the use of my penis or my rectum anymore, so I think they want to start me on chemo first. I'll keep you guys posted. Oh, I missed a super chat. I apologize. Thank you for the $2 super chat. How's your mother holding up, Noah? Look, my mother's an absolute warrior. I think she's on this live stream, just hanging in there with me. Mom, if you want to answer in the comment section, I will read your comment. Or if you want to text me, Mom, if you're still here, and tell people in your own words how you think you're doing, then I can read that out loud as well. But otherwise, my mom, from what I can tell, is really, really burdened by the situation, as any parent would be who loves their child. But she's also deeply grounded with her support, with an unflinching want to be strong and supportive and consistent for me. And she's doing that as well. And she's also financially been helping keep my treatments going and helping me pay for things as we've been dealing with financial difficulties. So she's the best. But she's struggling. Yeah, she's struggling. Marty Trapp says, don't excuse your faith. Prayers for you. Love your vids. Thank you. No, I won't. Amen. Javier Gary Bay says, invite us to the party when you beat this. May God bless you. Okay, I will. Wendy says, hi, Noah. I pray like that as well. I think God knows what that person needs. For people I know a little better, I ask them if there's something I can pray specifically for. God bless. Good bit of feedback there. Kirsten says, doing okay for today. Playing cards with my youngest, oldest. Has senior photos in a couple hours. Got it. Thanks for checking in. Oh my God. Just got a big super chat. I was about to say, if anyone feels motivated or moved to support me even further than you already have just by being here, the super chat function or the GoFundMe link in the description or memberships are ways that you can do that. And it's so impactful. And the super chat also gets your comment immediately to my attention, just as an extra thing. It's no small thing for anyone to support me financially. And this is like the best way I can think to help bring money in is by admitting I need help, and making content. I'll have to practice talking about money. I think I seem guilty. I'll have to work on that. Anyway, at Sprout1234FFS, $50 euro, I think. Amazing. God bless you. Hi, Noah. It's okay to cry. Yeah, you know, I think I have a huge cry stuck in me right now. I haven't really cried since this progressed to stage 4. I have had some thought spirals. My eyes have watered, but mostly have watered when thinking about Jessie. When I think about my wife, it brings up a lot of emotion, but I think there are tears buried inside of me that I just can't quite get out right this second. But I'm a huge promoter of cry when you need to cry. I believe in that. I think that's incredibly important. So I will certainly cry as soon as I think I have to. I just can't seem to let it out right now. But it's in there. She's coming. I tell people all the time, because I make a lot of jokes about my cancer now. It makes me feel better. Easier to cope on a day-to-day basis. I'm like, look, I'm either going to laugh or I'm going to cry. I'm here for both. I'm open to both. Thank you for that super chat. Wildly generous. Bobby says, Noah, thank Jesus will heal you, brother. Gave me great advice 2 years ago regarding help finding a TRT clinic. You saved my life. Lord Jesus, through you saved my life. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, a lot of you are saving my life through your relationship with God and Christ. Thank you. Catherine says, Jesus is great. Amen. Megan says, any advice on how to support a loved one battling cancer? We addressed that one, but yeah, just keep researching on how to support them. Mima says, hello, everyone. Hey. Nikki says, Noah, feel proud of how your sobriety is now helping you in your journey, as well as making your body more prepared to fight. Also focus on what you do well on your diet. You got this. No regrets. Amen. Thank you, Nikki. Bobby says, Lord Jesus healed me. He will heal you too, brother. I'm living proof, brother. You will get through. You are truly a blessing. My perspectives on healing are kind of interesting now. Maybe they're not interesting, but what they are is that I'm hopeful and open to my body lasting a long time, or longer than I wonder if it can. But I'm mostly on a fundamental level focused on healing my heart and my soul and my attitude and my mindset in a way that prepares me for whatever comes next with as much calm as can be reasonably expected, so that it's not a zero-sum game of like, I win, I didn't die from cancer. It's like, I don't want that to be the barometer for what I think is success. I want the way I experience the days that I have left and the relationship I have with God and my friends and family. I want that to be way more important while still staying in the fight. Does that make sense? So in other words, I think God's already really done a number on my spirit, and people of faith praying for me has really comforted my soul in a way that I'm more calm and comfortable than I realized I was capable of being. And I don't think that's my fault. I think that's just a product of being around the right people and maybe seeking out the right things for me, because it's a really powerful place. It's a really scary place to be, as far as like there are trap doors to get freaked out everywhere with this, everywhere. And I have been freaked out at times for sure. So it's not like I've zenned my way through this, but more calm than I could have expected. Asprey says, love your videos. Greetings from Oslo. Where's Oslo? By the time someone responds to that, I won't even know where it is, but where's Oslo? Let's see if my mom wrote me a message, by the way. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. We just got another super chat. Guys, we've raised over $300 in this hour and 30 minutes from that to, yeah, wow. Thank you. It's freaking incredible. Yeah, it's freaking incredible. I'm trying to get 2026 covered. How can we get everything covered in 2026 so that going into like surgeries and chemo, that's one thing that we don't have to specifically worry about. So thanks for helping make that a possibility for me, a reality for me. Thank you. The $50 super chat is from a lovely person named DR Credit One. Says, I was stage 4 lung, brother, mixed conventional with natural and off-label, cancer-free as of now. Please look at deuterium depleted water and a molecular hydrogen machine and breathe it for 3 hours every night. I don't know what that is. It's rare that I haven't heard of a suggestion being offered to me, but I'm going to take a picture and I'll run this by my consultant, see what we can learn. That's incredible. Congratulations on being cancer-free. I don't know if I'll ever be able to say it, but I imagine that's a crazy feeling, and I am really happy for you. And I love hearing stories like that. I try to leverage stories like that from like wouldn't that be cool? How cool would that be? But without being like, if that's not me, then damn it. That's really cool though. Wow. And thanks for sharing. I'll look into it. Absolutely, 100%. And thank you for being so generous. 50 bones is no joke. Trinity says, we love you. I love you. Love you guys too. Gina says, you have a great outlook on life. Thank you. Learned and acquired, not born with. Whatever is going well it's something I'm learning, I think. Jack says, sending lots of love and prayer. Thank you. Sandy says, prayers for you, Noah. Thank you. Yeah, this is an interesting one. DZMus88 says, do you have time to travel? I have this I wonder if other cancer patients have had the same thing, but I've had this thought, dude, you have stage 4 rare advanced cancer. You need to get your wife out of this town, go to Hawaii, do something like that, live now, whatever. But trying to know when to give into those impulses and when to just be practical and calm and think about how to make paradise every day here, which is what I try. That set me down a path, didn't it? I probably have time to travel for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I wonder if I should use some savings and go do that. Interesting. My dear friend Kirsten, who's been with me here since forever, please guys show her a lot of love in the comment section. She just did a $10 super chat. Thank you. Thank you very much. She says, Noah, it was great seeing you on here. Mama Maya, hope your day is well. I'm going to go. The kids call. Haha. Hope we can connect again soon and hope you enjoy the rest of your rainy day. I certainly will, and I'm sending you love and strength and courage. I know you have had your struggles, and yeah, you're still a bright light. I still feel your love. I feel your light. I see you. Good to see you on here, and thank you for supporting me. Let's see if my mom happened to catch that comment. Oh no! Are we still here? So the whole stream cut out. I think it's back. Am I right? The whole stream cut out. I think it's back. Yeah, I think we're okay. All right, guys, that puts us in another pickle with people that have been kind enough to leave questions. They will have disappeared on me again. Yeah, they did. So it's not physically letting me go back. That means some of you waited way too long to hopefully hear back from me, and I'm not going to be able to. I apologize for that annoyance if you're experiencing it. Out of my control, I'm afraid. But we'll just keep pushing, and I hope you keep asking questions or try right now, or I don't know. Anyhow. The Man Invisible says, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Hope you're having a good one. I think Thanksgiving is going to fall just before chemo starts. So, God, eat all the food I can with a tight little group of people that just make me feel great. I want to be around all energy givers, just the people that are most important in my life, and obviously bring as much love to that experience for them as I can. What are you doing, brother or sister? Brother. I'm a Space Cadet says, I think the chats disappear as I scrolled up to see if mine was there and it's gone. It's okay. We're just here to support you. Yeah, it's annoying though, but thank you. It's definitely annoying, but thank you. I've never had so many people here that I couldn't keep up with chats. So that's a new experience for me. And it's happening again. Okay, here we go. Let's go faster. I can do this. Stay present. Stay live. Hi from BC from Rochelle. Hi from BC, Noah. Are you doing daily vagus nerve stimulation that controls the parasympathetic, which controls the entire body? I'm keeping you in my thoughts. I don't do daily vagus nerve. Thank you for putting that back on my radar. I'm a space cadet, says prayers for healing. Thank you. A heart symbol from love, C6I1W. Marina Canal says, thought you were humming the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. Maybe I was. I don't think so, though. Jip Soul says, sending prayers for you and your family. Thank you. Honeybee says, the soundtrack from the movie I Am Sam has amazing Beatles songs done by popular artists like Bono. Badass. Side Hustle says, sup Noah, sorry to hear about your diagnosis. Have you looked into fasting? Not as a cure, but it's a means to show improved effectiveness of some treatments. Yeah, on my radar. We will be prepared for how to best use it to protect me during chemo. Corridus says he was singing Penny Lane. Yes! Penny Lane in my ear. Renee says, hi from California. I've been watching and sending positive thoughts. It's good to see you. Thank you for sending them. It's good to see you on here too. It's good to see all of you here. Zen says, gabapentin, jogging, food, and water. Okay, thank you. Honeybee says, I think fasting is highly underrated. Agreed. I'm a daily intermittent faster. And then I think I'm doing the fasting mimicking diet now going forward. PDX is beautiful. God bless you. God bless you too. Honeybee says, amen, amen. Mind Game says, have you ever considered taking psychedelics? I'm convinced it can help. It can help desk mentality. Not seriously considered, but it's on my radar. It's just not something I'm comfortable with doing right now. Michael Burke says, keep in there. Yes, sir. Certainly will. Nick says, did you try fenbendazole? I did for a time and will be retrying with chemo. Allison McDonald says, curious if you think having a cancer diagnosis will help you stay sober when you get past this. I just hit 1 year sober for the first time ever because of something terrifying and life-changing. Yeah, it certainly is not hurting my sobriety from what I can tell. I am thankful, though, that I was able to get sober before my cancer diagnosis, and I was bolstered and motivated and blessed enough to get sober before my cancer diagnosis. This has allowed me to I think come at this cancer thing from the perspective that it's not the reason I got sober, but it sure is a reminder why I want to stay sober. Because I don't know what would have happened if I'd been getting drunk every day as a recovering alcoholic, or I guess in that scenario it'd be an active alcoholic. I don't know what would have happened. Like, would having cancer be enough to stop me from drinking? I sincerely don't know. Congrats on a year, by the way. Honeybee says, wow, what a blessing to have loving, caring mom. Very much so. Tammy says, wife. She's downstairs studying. Viking says, have you been sleeping okay? I've been sleeping really, really great, and for that I am grateful. Honeybee says, Allison, that's amazing. Proud of you. The hardest part is over. Play the tape through. Yes. Rochelle says, hi from BC. Noah, are you doing daily vagus nerve stuff? Yes. Or no, but thank you for reminding me. EJY says, Noah, so sorry. Do you know how I can donate? Yeah, in the description box below, there's my GoFundMe, which is great. Very helpful for all things non-medically covered. And then super chats and memberships if you want to here. And just being here is a great donation of your time, quite frankly. Honeybee says, yes. Mary Hampton, I'm proud of you for speaking about needs. It's okay to ask things you need. No harm in asking. Thank you. Honeybee says, Noah, that cry is begging to come out. I see it. Oh yeah, it's in there. My mom says, hi everyone. Thank you for supporting and loving my boy. It's every mama's worst nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, it must be, Mama. It has to be. Has to be. Summer Breeze says, new here. Have you heard of Dr. Thomas Seyfried? He has 40 years of research and has an amazing protocol and success. Please check him out. Incredible, truly praying for you. Yes, I have. And we incorporate a lot of what we learn about the metabolic approach for sure. Riley says, it made me tear up when you said that about a huge cry stuck in there. Yeah, it's okay. You should try avocado. ice cream. Yeah, I have. It's really good. Thank you. Corita says crying is part of the process. It sure is. Pink Roses says you have health insurance. I have, thankfully, state health insurance, and it does help me cover mainstream traditional things and labs. And God, if I needed to get unthinkable surgeries, it's huge. So yes, I have state insurance, and I wouldn't have been able to afford that big surgery I had without it. So I'm very grateful. Asperl's calling in. Keep fighting. Greetings from Oslo. Thank you. Honeybee Mama, your support and unconditional love is the biggest difference. If I had that from my mom, I probably wouldn't be in hell and despair of depression. I'm rooting for you and your mental health, that's for sure. Corritas is sending love to my mom. Already answered the health insurance. Honeybee, I'm not blaming her. I miss her. Yeah, I understand. Rochelle says, hi from BC. I'm going to go ahead and time out Rochelle, just because you're repeating the vagus nerve thing. Thank you, Rochelle, though. No disrespect in timing that out. I just want to keep the chat open for new people. Almandino says, hi, Noah. God bless you for sharing your journey. It has not been an easy road for sure. Overall, this world is temporal for all of us, but God is with you and he will lift you up. Yeah. Amen. And that crosses my mind all the time. It's all going to be okay. At my mom, I cannot begin to imagine. My prayers are with you and your family. Thank you for being nice to my mama. She loves that stuff, as we all do. Prayers, Noah. Have a blessed evening. Blessings to your mom. Thank you. You too, honeybee. BRC says, dear Noah, if you have had the chance, go to Sydney with Paul and Perth doctors. Love from Mexico. Thank you for that. My mom wasn't finished. My mom said, didn't mean to send anyway. When Noah was given after surgery, he said something to me that I will never forget, which keeps me for whatever comes next. He said, Mama, don't. I probably said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Then I won't be afraid. Yeah. I don't want any of my friends to be needlessly afraid. I really do mean that. I don't want anyone to be. I don't want any of you, if you happen to feel very deeply for my situation, or maybe for someone else's situation in your life. I don't want you to be afraid either, for whatever that's worth. I'm going to be okay one way or another. I truly think deep down, even if I get scared and nervous. And yeah, you have a life to live. My mom has a life to live. My wife has a life to live. And I still have one to live too. So I wouldn't want any of you or any of us to be too afraid, if we can help it. Michael says, how is your dad doing? I think he's doing all right. He's a little harder to read from an emotional standpoint, but he's incredibly supportive and loving. And I think he's all right, all things considered. My dad. Nocturna says, have you looked into FemBen? Sure have. Honeybee says, beautiful. Matt says, have you played sports in high school? My main sport is CrossFit. It's been CrossFit. It will stay CrossFit. No matter what happens next for me, I'll do whatever form of the sport of CrossFit as I can. But as a kid, I ran track, cross country. I wrestled for a year. I played rugby for 1 year. I played basketball, both on the school team and then on the rec team. I think those are my sports. I had a great time with it. Pray the Rosary says, God bless you. Pray the Rosary. Many miracles attributed to the Rosary. Don't have to be Catholic. Will also bring you peace. Yeah, I like that. Thank you. Reggie Long says, Noah, so glad to see you. Good to see you too. Well, see you on here. What is your perspective of the insulin potentiated chemo? Positive or negative? Can you do another round? What does that doctor say about what's going on? My perspective is that it was a worthy thing to try. I don't think it was able to be successful in the ways that we had hoped. I don't know that it was strong enough or done long enough to ultimately be effective. But I don't want to live in regret. It was what we thought was best at the time. And I think we need something more powerful to complement and to go along with the other things like natural supportive measures, high dose IV vitamin C, repurposed prescriptions like, let's say, doxycycline or metformin, things like that. But I haven't been in contact with that doctor in a while. But I appreciate him all the same. Stay strong. Oh, EQQULIZER, Equalizer Gaming, got it. Stay strong, my dude. Your depression content has helped me a ton, but still severely struggling. 8 months off work. That's tough. Rooting for you, and I really mean that. Please don't give up. It can and will get better. It really can, even if you don't think so. That's been my experience, and that's been the experience of a lot of people. Always chillin', that says, oops, I just did that thing where the chat just jumped on me. Always chillin' says yes. Dre Davis says, hey Noah, I care for you and I'm here for you. Thank you, Dre. Marina says, yep. Denise says, love and hugs from across the pond. Thank you, Denise. Reggie Long says, you're still looking phenomenal. Thank you. The Satex says, you're back. Good. Here now. We're here. From Megan. It's all good. Still here. Rochelle Troll. PDX beautiful. Yes, all good. JR says, what is your yeah, I already saw that. JR Troll. Oh, okay. Put user in timeout. Ooh. Sandra, who's one of my channel members who really hasn't gotten their money's worth yet, but I'm going to fix that. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. Yeah. Thank you for being here, Sandra. I appreciate it. What church do you attend? I actually don't attend a church in person. I've been invited multiple times. I'd like to actually go. I'm ready to find a church home. I do worship here at home. Chris Beam says, hi, been praying for you. Thank you. Always chillin' says, can you pin your GoFundMe account to this chat? Oh, I didn't even think about pinning the GoFundMe, but yeah, I will, and I appreciate the idea, and it really does help. Thank you. It's a great idea. Cool. Yeah, thanks for the idea. Really kind. Where was I? Where were we? Dude, we've been here for 2 hours. This has been so cool. Yeah, it's been incredible. Thank you. Just incredible. Where were we? Chris says, I've been praying for you. Thank you. Always chillin' says, can you pin your GoFundMe? I did. Thank you. The real Ethan Trembling. Noah, you truly look like the picture of health. Thanks. The man invisible going to make a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. Oh, I love pumpkin pie. My wife does not like pumpkin pie, and I want you guys to forgive her for that. I love pumpkin pie. Dre Davis says, hey, Noah, I'm here for you and care for you. Thank you, Dre. BRC says, dear Noah, in Mexico City, Dr. Jose Manuel at Hospital Angeles Lomas is a thoracic cancer miracle. Thank you for putting him on my radar. Corita says, what happened? God bless. Happy Thanksgiving from Mary. Jake says, I've been following you on and off for years. Sorry to hear about your diagnosis. I was just wondering, do you still suffer from DP? I've been getting it on and off for years. All the best. All the best to you too. I had a little bit of it when I was coming off of Lameprazole. So I was on antidiarrheals for 7 months post my last surgery. Turns out if you take those at max dose, which I did, they can actually occupy some opiate receptors, which they did. And yeah, I was a little depersonalized, but not anymore. All the best to you, though. It can get better. Sandra says, is the cancer anywhere else? Yeah, at this time the cancer is in my diaphragm, in my peritoneum, which is like a sac around my organs. It's in my pelvis. It's in my bladder, or on my bladder, on my pelvis, rectum, and urethra. I'll know a lot more when I meet the surgeon in 2 weeks, or I think in about 2 weeks. Maybe a little less than 2 weeks, a week and a half. And I'll share what I learned with you guys. Shaki says, hey. Mary Pennington, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. BRC says, please, dear Noah, pray and ask for your health. I will. Awesome from Shaki. Tallulah says, hey Noah, have you read anything about fenbendazole? Yes, I have. Thank you. Marcia says, you're doing anything special for Christmas? Haven't thought that far. I just don't know. Lisa says, my brother had cancer at age 20. It's a tough journey. He didn't make it, but I hope you come out of the other end and keep your smile on your face. I'm sorry about your brother. And yeah, I hope so too. I hope whatever happens is supposed to happen happens. Yeah, we got kicked off there. I do think I'm going to wrap this thing up soon. I'm going to read a few more, maybe 10, 15 more minutes for whoever's still here and for however long you've been here. Thank you for being here and spending some time with me. You definitely made my day better. And I hope you heard something or felt something that made you want to come back. I've heard that said in meetings and it really resonates with me. So yeah, this all seems a little less daunting with more people. It's pretty cool. Let's answer a few more questions. Noah, you should have. Thank you. What happened? God bless. Happy Thanksgiving. Been following you for your best bro. Pray I will. Tallulah says, have you read anything about fenbendazole? I have. Marcia, no plans. Lisa, my brother had. Sorry about that, Lisa. Truly. BRC says, Noah, you look great. Love you so much. Thank you. Love you too. Thighball says, hey bro, can you talk about your DPDR? So DPDR is a depersonalization derealization condition that I suffered with when I had a breakdown in my mid-20s. It just makes you feel detached, permanent brain fog type of feeling. Tough to deal with. I don't currently deal with it now, and there's lots of support and hope out there for those that do. New England Coast says, hello from Cape Cod. Sweet. Just starting the live. Want to know, I pray for you. I pray for my healing sober 30 years. Yeah, it's inspiring. Thank you for your prayers. I really appreciate it. Shaki says, happy Sunday, back at you. BRC says, dear Noah, are you in contact with Paul in Perth? I am. Michelle says, how's your dad doing? He's doing okay. He plays his emotions a little closer to his chest, but he's doing okay. Caitlin says, hey Noah. Hey Caitlin. Rebecca says, have you had an appointment with your surgeon yet to discuss the surgical options? No, I haven't. I know Tiffany thinks had stage 4 colorectal, not appendiceal. And she had a pelvic extraction a few years ago. Yeah, I'll be really interested to know what those options are. I don't currently know. Dear Noah, just once, asked St. Carlo. Thank you for that. I'll look into that. I appreciate it. Thighball Water says, how's your DPDR going? It's doing great. David says, is it confirmed you have stage 4? It is confirmed, I'm afraid. Hope you're holding up well from Riggs Fishing. Love from Gloucester, UK. Sweet. Thank you. Love back. Noah, you're beautiful. Lindo Nino. I love you so much. Love you too. Thank you. So cool from Shaki. Patricia says prayers from Ohio. Been following and praying. Thank you. God bless you from Jamie. We're almost there. We're caught up. Noah, you're very brave. Thank you. God is here for you from Mary. Thank you. God bless everyone from Shaki. Noah, you're very brave from another person. Tammy talks. Go to Unity Church. I think you will really love it. Thank you for this suggestion. You look like your dad from Tammy. I love pumpkin pie. I had a huge piece this morning. Let's go. Felix, please look into HIPEC. Yeah, it's on our radar. If I'm eligible, we'll probably do it. Hi, Noah. Love you. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Carmen. Do you have a bucket list? The only one that I'm going to share, as silly as this might sound, I mean, kind of, at first I didn't want to consider a bucket list. It stressed me out too much, like I was conceding to death. Now I kind of see bucket lists a little bit different. I really want to finish the Harry Potter series. I'm on the 6th book. But I'll make different ones too. Rebecca says, okay, you answered my question. Good. Fort Worth says, hi from Texas. Just found out you seem like it seems like younger people are getting cancer. Sorry for what you're going through. I appreciate that. And yeah, there's a lot of young people out there trying to process all this. Noah said to me, don't be afraid, and I won't. Yeah. KB Direct says, do you find your depression is staying at bay? I mostly do. Yeah, I mostly do find my depression is staying at bay, and I give that to God and my support system. Catherine says, I'm still here. Awesome. Thank you. Jamie says, Godspeed. Favorite vacation you've taken? From Megan. I went to Hawaii with my wife. I'd love to try that one again. Tammy, I used fenbendazole for my doggy, son Butter Bear. Helped greatly. Good. Take care. From Dee Dee. I will. You too. Take care. Noel, bless you. From Marcia. Hello from Melbourne. Hi to Hoehang. Our prayers are with you, mate. Thank you. Always chilling. Okay. Guys, I think we'll go ahead and call it there. I really, really appreciate you guys spending so much time for me. We raised some money, and that's really great too. This was great. I think I'll try to do another one next week as my energy and my time allows. But yeah, I really do want to thank you guys for spending this time with me, and I hope you have your best possible day. And for anyone that didn't hear me say this, I hope you know that I think one way or another I'm going to be okay, and I don't want anyone to be needlessly afraid if they happen to be. And we have a surgery consult with the surgeon who did my peritoneum coming up. I'll let you guys know what's going on with that for those that are interested. I will also be posting a little update going over something I learned meeting with a geneticist who's an MD at the hospital. I kind of thought about getting my mom on one of these videos to get her perspective. Sometimes I feel like this overwhelming urge to try and like educate you as I'm trying to learn, but sometimes I wonder if how I can best serve you guys is just to share the process I'm experiencing, the thoughts I'm having, and then some generalities about the treatments, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you to anyone who was here at all. Thank you to everyone also who did the GoFundMe and the super chats and became members. I'm a very blessed person in a tough situation. And then sending you all love and strength with whatever you're facing. I'm bad at goodbyes. Can you guys tell? I think I'm bad at goodbyes. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Adios.